Karen and Ravi, we can now tell you that the man who was shot was in fact a security guard at the nightclub. And while the circumstances surrounding the shooting are not very clear at this time, the Midlothian Police Department is telling us that it was one of their officers who shot him after they entered the bar and saw him holding a gun.
How in the world does the security guard get shot by the police? A young man that was literally just doing his job, and now he's gone.
A Chicago church community in search of answers after their organist was shot and killed by a police officer in the south suburbs early this morning. Identified as Jemel Roberson, the 26-year-old was on duty as a bouncer at Manny's Blue Room Lounge in Robbins when he was killed. According to a statement issued by Midlothian police, they were responding to a call for help by Robbins just after 4 a.m. Chief Dan Delaney saying, upon arrival, officers learned there were several gunshot victims inside the bar. A Midlothian officer encountered a subject with a gun and was involved in an officer-involved shooting. The subject the officer shot was later pronounced deceased at an area hospital. At least 4 people were shot, including Roberson. What led to the initial gunshots being fired and who fired them is unclear. But those who knew Roberson describe him as a man of God who shared his musical talents at several churches around the city, last rehearsing at the South Shore Church on Thursday.
He said, "Mom and Pops, I will see you all Sunday." And I jokingly said, "You better make sure you on time for morning worship." He said, "I'll be there, Pops. I'll see you then."
Because this is a police-involved shooting, now it is the Illinois State Police that is in charge of that part of the investigation, while it is the Robbins Police Department, along with the Cook County Sheriffs, that is taking care of the overall criminal investigation. We're expecting to learn more about that side of it tomorrow.
Before I get started with this commentary, let me give my condolences out to Jemel Roberson's family on the loss of their loved one. Condolences out to his mother, his father, family, friends, associate, the people of his church, and all of that good stuff. That kind of news right there, you just don't expect to hear. Now, let me get into the actual story itself. Now, the way that I found out about this was on Instagram from somebody that I follow. Now, the way that this person who explained what happened, I actually believe the way that they told it. Now, on the news side of things, what you just heard with the clip, it was basically saying that they don't know what actually led to the transpiring of him being shot, or what led to the shooting that actually occurred, which led up to him being shot. But from what I heard, basically it said that some patrons had got drunk in the bar, got into it with some other people, left, came back, and then started exchanging gunfire. And then that's when Jemel put out his gun and started exchanging gunfire back with the other people. Then the cops came in. They saw him with a gun and shot him, and probably and most likely assumed that he was the perpetrator and didn't know he was a security guard. This is that whole thing again where like the person who I got my information from said it was the whole good guy with a gun, bad guy with a gun type of situation. And unfortunately, the good guy with the gun ended up dead. This guy was only 26 years old. He was 3 years younger than me, still very young. Had the rest of his whole entire life ahead of him. Got killed doing what he was supposed to do, which was protect the people. This also goes to that narrative that even when law-abiding black citizens have a gun and have a license to carry or own a gun, we still, in their eyes, are looked at as bad when we have a gun in our hand. I mean, how many times have we seen black people, especially black men, be gunned down when they assumed we had a gun in our hand when it wasn't even a gun? I mean, look at Tamir Rice. He was playing with a toy gun and they killed him. And not only did they assume he had a gun, but they also got his age all messed up. This was a 12-year-old boy that they assumed was 18. He could have lived to see 18 if they didn't pull a drive-by on him and shoot him dead right there in the park in front of his sister. Same thing happened with John Crawford, and ironically, John Crawford, that happened the same year and in almost the same exact location as where Tamir Rice was killed. But he was killed inside of a Walmart, and some white person called the cops and said there was a black guy with a gun inside of the Walmart, but it wasn't a real gun. They came in, they didn't even question, they just shot him dead right there in the aisle. Same thing that most likely happened here. They didn't question to ask who was he, and they probably didn't even allow him to explain himself and say that he was a security guard at that club or that bar or that lounge. They just shot him because they saw a black man with a gun. Us owning a firearm is a threat, no matter how much we peddle the Second Amendment thing. And guess what he wanted to be? Jemel Roberson said he wanted to be a cop. And usually whenever someone is a security guard or they're a bouncer or something of some sort, that actually leads them into wanting to do law enforcement on a bigger scale. It's just unfortunate that, his life was taken because he was doing what he was supposed to do. They love to say that we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and all this shit. But when we do just that, and not because they said we need to, we still get the short end of the stick. Unfortunately, his meant the end of his life. So now he's gone, and who knows what happened to the perpetrators. They said that 4 people were shot, including him, but so far the only person that we know that is deceased is him. So it's a possibility that the people that he was firing, trading fire with, could probably still be alive. They just got injured. So the true bad guys might still be breathing, and the good guy is dead. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a hero in every sense of the word because he had to protect the people that was in the crowd away from the true bad guys, but unfortunately, he's not alive to tell his side of the story. Now, I wonder how the media, lamestream as it is going to spin this. I'm already sure or certain of what they're going to say or they're going to try to attempt to say. But like I said, I offer my condolences to his family. He did end up, dying a hero. It's unfortunate. The mainstream media is not going to call him a hero. I'll call him a hero. Just like they didn't call Dominic Rosier a hero when he saved as many people as he could after that Kentucky shooter killed those 2 black people at that Kroger, and when he had to protect his wife and protect other people at the same time. They didn't call him a hero, but I called him a hero. Luckily, he's still alive. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.